this ain't working. I would guess so. Hey, what's up, Chris? All right. Technology. Damn. Hopefully it's not chopping as much as it looks like over on my end. What's up, Mr. Dempsey? How you doing, brother? I can't see, for some odd reason, it's not letting me see who all's in here or who isn't. So, it is, there we go. Ah, I get a little bit better. Hey, what's up, Custom Car Audio Solutions LLC? Mike Jones, what's up, man? Russell, the man. There you are. Haven't missed that much. I've only been on for not even 2 minutes now. So, start off like we normally start off here. Hey, everybody. Guy with the meter here. Tonight, I'm going to get Russell in here because the way we're doing it, and this way it makes things work a lot better, because then you get the most from both orgs. You get the roundness of a lot of information from a lot of different areas. And what's up, Dempsey? It just seems to make things go a lot easier than just myself sitting here rambling. That it also gets to push out a lot of stuff going on in Base Wars with Russell. So that's always good. What's up, Ruben? How you doing, brother? So we'll give a couple minutes for everybody to get in here and see what's going on. But tonight's conversation is going to be, because it's been in the air and people have been talking about it. What's up, Chris? What's up, Mitch? What is the line? What is the limitation of what's considered extreme down to novice or not so much? I'm not going to let too much more out because I do have a problem with flapping my gums before I bring Russell on. So let me see. Let me invite him. And we'll go for there. And invitation sent. Add him in. And we'll just give it a couple more minutes. What's up, Aaron? Well, while we're waiting for him to accept it, go ahead and get my recharge.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
Not much. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. There we go. Okay, I can see. All right, yeah. Don't want anybody to know you're sitting in front of a window or anything.
Oh yeah, the blinds. Yeah, no one's ever gonna know.
I never know.
These are not the Jedis you're looking for. The droids. Droids. Thank you. My wife's right next to me.
The droids.
Yes.
Arr.
She just came back from Hollywood Studios today, so.
Oh wow.
Not me.
So
I had to stay at home with the kids.
I mean, no sense in messing her day up and bringing kids along, right?
It was amazing. It was an amazing day.
So Ruben says real quick, and I'm gonna let you take over and go like that, like we were talking about before. Slam was awesome according to Ruben. That's great. Looking at the clips people have sent and the pictures, it looks like they had a damn good turnout, and it looked like a really good show. And I'm really glad to hear that, because I know it was kind of up in the air for some people on how good it was going to be, either real good or real bad.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a lot of posts about it today. I think they did a new location this year. I think that's what happened. I think that's why they were like undecided if it's going to be big or not, because it's a new location, and it seemed to be pretty big. I'm pretty sure Base Wars did a drone shot of it, of like the field and everything like that, and it looks like a pretty good layout. I'm pretty sure I saw a video like a train in the background, so there's like a train that went by. I guess it's right near train tracks. It looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, so I doubt that anything's happening. So that, and then the Rick Ross car show was this weekend.
That's right. The Rick Ross car show is happening too. So there's definitely not a shortage of shows to go to this weekend between the two of them. Two big shows going on.
Yeah. Well, that one's more of a dunk and, car show, where the other one was an audio show. I'm pretty sure the only people that didn't go to, what was it, Slamology? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Was Down for Sound. Down for Sound went to Rick Ross.
So. It fits. That's more their styling, anyways. The donks and the cars that got the freaking $100,000 interiors and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, they got some nice cars, beautiful cars.
That may be something else on the list. I told Melissa this year. I told Melissa that this year that show looks great, and it may be back on my list of shows that I want to go to, because I'd love to go to the Sundown show, and I'd love to go to Slam. And I'd love to go to Scraping the Coast. And, there's a list of, don't have to happen right now, but would really like to sometime do it to enjoy it and see what it's all about.
Yeah. Been to Sundown. I would like to go to Slam, but like you said, it would have to build back up to make sure it's worth it, because I've always heard Slam was a great show. Scraping the Coast, I guess, is more hit or miss out in Mississippi. They don't let any orgs but one org run it. There's no really competition out there. It's only demoing and stuff, because there's only one org allowed out there. So
yeah, that's kind of the way they're talking about with Slam Fest this year, is there's only going to be the one org there.
SQ only. That's it. Mm-hmm. And it's Iasca, and it's a buy-in and all that stuff. I was just talking with Mike the other day, so I might be talking with you about coming to hang out with you for Slam Fest, because I know you'll be out there doing U.S. Amps, the booth. Mm-hmm. So whether or not, I never get to go to car shows and not work them, so it would be
right.
Right, that's what you said. Well, you'll be working, so just a little bit.
Dude, I'll be hanging out in the U.S. Amps booth with Mike, and just sitting there chilling out and absorbing it all. And the good thing about stuff like that is that at any time, I can get up and go walk around, because I'm going to be representing U.S. Amps.
Hey man, so, if you give me a T-shirt, I'll walk around all weekend with you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh. So you could hand out pamphlets with me or something.
Nice. Tell Mike I'm on the books. I'll drive over 2 weekends in a row. We'll have a good time.
Yeah. I can see that really flying well with Chelsea.
Chelsea will go to Disney. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be all right. Yeah. Well, you weren't here this weekend? No, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I'll definitely we'll have to make that happen, because I know that when I brought up to Mike about it, because I've been wanting to go to Slam Fest. I really have. That was, upon its day, that was an awesome show. That is a good, well-rounded, and I used to get kind of frustrated because Greenhorn and I would bust our tails in the lanes, because that was one of our biggest shows.
Oh yeah.
And couldn't really get out and go see anything. So finally, he and I, clicked heads together and said, you know what, we're going to shut the lanes down from noon to 1 or something like that. And then he and I went out there and actually got to enjoy the show. And the show's just a great show, or was. I don't know if it still is. But, yeah. So that's going to happen again this year, I believe, because I think that we could print out some handouts, some pamphlets, or walk around giving out lanyards or something for 30 minutes to an hour during the show.
Yeah.
So
that's my cousin Jesse.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what's up, Jess? Lucas, what's up, my man?
Show is off my hand. I don't have another show till August. It looks like we took the hot months off.
Oh,
July.
Well,
next one, but not for Base Wars.
We've got one in June up in Michigan, which Johnny and Sean are running. It's the Florida's Day Baseway. let me get these out of the way real quick, and we'll get on to the subject. How's that sound?
Normally you do all this first, and then I jump in after, so we switched it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm running late today. I got came in a couple minutes late, so I'm not.
It's all good. It's all good.
2 second backstory. What happened today, man? I've been up. I get up wicked early, but I got up and decided to tackle the yard. And when I do this yard, I do my mom's yard next door, so that's 15 acres in one day. That mower hauls ass, and it still takes me about 2.5, 3 hours to do both yards. And that's constant working. That's not stopping and taking a drink, or that's full throttle for 2.5, 3 hours. So I'm feeling it right now.
It's hot. Oh, I sat inside my house and did nothing all day. I'm not kidding. It was amazing.
That's yeah.
Not to make you jealous or anything. I'm happy you did your thing. I get it, but not so much on this side. All right.
Hey, I'll tell you honest like this. When I mow the yard, I put my earbuds in, I put my eye protection on. I'm in my own zone for 2 to 3 hours, and I've got the yard pretty much memorized enough where it's like second. It's like driving to work after working at a company for 10 years.
Yeah.
When you get to the light, you got to turn right, and then you're sitting there thinking about this, and next one you got to turn left, and because you've done it so many times. So I get in the zone and tune out. I took a quick little break in between and immediately charged up my earphones because they last for about 80% of me mowing the yard, and then they just go done, dead, battered. So I got some time in to charge them up, so I was happy. So.
All right, let's go over the shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we've got July 11th. It's going to be the Audio Invasion. This could be ran by Walt Johnson. The host is Team Basehead, South Carolina. Gates are open 9 a.m. Supposedly the show is going to run from 9 to 9, but I don't think he's going to run the lanes for 12 hours. I just don't think it gets that much once the sun goes down and things start to calm down. So I'm sure there's a post about it. Check it out, see what it has to say. After that is going to be the next show in Florida is July 11th. That's going to be the Clean Cars and Loud Bars Car Audio Show, held by Eric. It's a good location. It's in Ocala. Come hang out. I've been to the shows there before, and it has been a good wide range of vehicles. So I'm hoping it sticks with it this time as well. So then the one after that is going to be the one everybody's waiting for, Hayden's show. That's going to be the Love for Lowe's Rebased Volume 2, held by the one and only infamous Mr. Hayden Price. That is July 15th.
August.
Excuse me?
August.
Yes. The one down below is July. August 15th is when that show is going to be. It is going to be held at a drive-in movie theater. They're going to run the concession stand, just like the movies with popcorn and hot dogs and nachos and everything else. There's going to be music all over the place. I believe he said it's like 10 acres is the whole place. So there's ample amount of room for. This is going to be a great show too. So for being 2 last shows of Florida before finals, we might be working on a third one in September, but I haven't. We went back and forth for a bit, and then I haven't heard anything back on it. So they were working out the logistics of the location to make sure it was going to be. Everybody has dreams, and then when it comes down to it, they're, oh shoot, we can't do that between those hours, or can't do that. So that's I'm waiting on the fine print for that one. But as of right now, it's set in stone are just these 2 shows. Sometime soon, I will get up off my bum and put up the usual how many points everybody has and how many they need for finals. All I'm going to do is take the list that is currently out right now on the ACCL Facebook page and highlight the ones that are good and highlight the ones that aren't. You need 12 points for finals. Both of these shows are 2X shows. I might make Hayden's show a 3X at the last minute. So you might want to keep eye on that. You can buy double points per show. So for a 2X show, you can come out of it with 4 points. For a 3X show, you can come out of it with 6 points. If you double up on both of these, that's going to be 10 points. So all you would have needed is to already have 2 points throughout the season in order to make the 12 points to get invited to finals. So keep that in mind. I'd love to see everybody at finals. Everybody knows our rings are the bomb diggity. And yeah, so there'll be more on that later on. After that, we've got finals. And finals are going to be October 3rd, that weekend this year. That is going to be the finals for ACCL and for Base Wars Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we moved it. Was originally to be the last weekend of September, I believe. And that didn't work in the scheduling for Base Wars and Russell. And we try to work with each other. And usually we have our finals either the last weekend of September or the first one of October. So this year we just pushed to the first one of October. So, and then after that's going to be Slamfest.
Yep.
No audio at Slamfest, but I will be there representing US Amps with Michael and Russell. And that's a great place to go hang out and see some beautiful cars, get to see the work that the years and years and years worth of work and labor people put into these vehicles. It's just they're gorgeous vehicles every year. So that's it.
Now that I'm on call. Yeah, thanks, Aaron. No problem. You're welcome. I figured that's what you wanted to do. He's on call.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I see it.
he's all blah blah blah. You know, he doesn't work anyway. Aaron, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, just lose your phone that weekend. I lost my phone. Do you even compete?
I was thinking you can be on call and at the show.
Exactly. I know plenty of people that have gone on call and been on the show. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, what's up, Lucas? How you doing, my friend? I believe Base Floors had 2 lanes to run. That's awesome. Good luck to everybody that's competing. Thanks, Rio. Miss you, brother. Hope everything's going well with you, my friend. Yeah, we saw suggest that. What's up? All right. Ruben says Slam was awesome. What's up, Mitch? How you doing? Chris. Hopefully you'll have stuff done before this Thursday coming up because I'm overly intrigued on what modifications you made with your enclosure to see if we can squeeze out that match number you're shooting for. That the Suzuki Samurai is what it's in, and Chris knows how to build. So that's all I'm saying. Better yet, I don't need to say anymore. So yeah, Aaron says I've done it. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
Oh.
It has come up in the grapevine of complaints and stuff and sorts, as in with other orgs, and I can't speak for other orgs. I'm not other orgs, but I can speak for my org, and Russell can speak for his org, about what is considered an extreme build. What is, or what should be considered, or what do you think is considered? That's kind of a hot question, I think. I don't know. Do you agree on that, Russell?
Yeah, I guess for my org, it's more of a open-end question. Like it's I can tell you what my org calls it, but that doesn't mean your org calls it the same, nor the next org, and blah blah blah. That's why we all do the same, but we're all a little different. I think mine may be the loosest term of extreme because I technically don't have an extreme class. I have pro classes that they call extreme, but they're not true extreme, I guess. They're the only ones where you can get like crazy, but for most of my categories, they say stock, I'll put it in quotation, stock cabin, which is mostly appearance and behind factory panels and stuff. But that's all front of the B pillar. Anything behind the B pillar in my org for a wall, it doesn't matter. There's no extreme portion of it. My extremes just let you play up higher in frequencies. You know, there is no limitations for our demo class, which are our 30-second class averages. There basically is none. I mean, as long as even like locations on things, it's For a trunk class, as long as the subs and enclosure are in the trunk, it's a trunk. You can have all the batteries, you can have all the amps in the back seat. You don't have to have a back seat as long as there's a sub and trunk in the trunk. Our no wall classes, I guess the craziest you can get into is blow throughs. That's the best one for me. Is a blow through is a no wall as long as this enclosure stays below the factory rails of a bed. But if it protrudes the factory rails or is above the factory bed line, then it's a wall. So it really just depends. So, and I mean, you can consider, blow through is extreme in some orgs where that's a no wall. So.
Yeah, see, I guess yours is a little more open than ours is, because our limitations are that if it's in the bed of the truck, it's automatically considered a wall. And my logic on that one is that you've got the solid glass, you've got the solid panel underneath it, the metal panel, and you've got a cutout in that. So what's the difference of having that versus having a whole wooden wall with a port cut out in it? That was our logic on making that. Because I have had people come to me with that. I've had people come and say, oh, you claim that as a wall? Oh, so-and-so org claims it. Okay. And our org is considered a wall. But I believe on just about everything else that if our orgs are not equal, then yours is a little more loose on it.
Correct.
On the ruling of it.
And I think we're the only other, so besides the blow through, the only other one that we're like it is C-pillars. I think we're the only one that has its own dedicated C-pillar class.
Yeah, thanks.
What?
I appreciate that, because I've got like one or two guys that every so often, every couple of months, they'll, hey, do you have a C-pillar class yet?
Well,
no.
You just said it right there, though. What? You only have one or two guys. So when it's only one or two, it doesn't make it worth it. We have already had that in the works, in the plan. So for us, we have one. And by damn, the person who just competed in a C-pillar wall does a damn good job of it at 19 hertz. So if anyone wants to go and challenge them at 19 hertz in a C-pillar wall, go for it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's going to be, and if you've got the customer base for it, sure, make it. Why not? I think that you all would probably build up from that. I just don't see that many of them coming to my lanes enough to justify for it. But back to the original conversation point here, though. For extreme, I guess you'd call it in our classes, that's the unlimited class. And we don't have an extreme for every format. We don't. There's not a extreme class for 360 or an extreme class for bottom out or an extreme class for any of those other ones. Our extreme class is pretty much for the guys that like doing it, and that's why we made it up like that. They want to put a mic, one location of the vehicle, and just go, and then turn it off, and then that's it. And get their number and be happy and cheerful and run away. Excuse me?
Ours is the same way. It is one mic, one location, burp it. And like I said, that's our pro classes. So yes.
Yeah, because the main reason why I made that to separate them out and make it so that they could no longer play in the lower classes was because, and I'm not saying negatively, because loud is loud. There's no question about it. But we had people come in there that would just slaughter the classes. And then that makes it so that I think it kind of beats down anybody that's worked really hard to have a daily driver in a class like that, to have a solid concrete trailer queen roll up and gap them by like 6 or 7 or 8 decibel, like without even trying. It just didn't feel right. So we have our class for the unlimited. It's the FTW, and the FTW Unlimited is, we don't even care if it's in a vehicle. You could walk up with a boom box, set the mic in front of it, turn it up, and gain points.
Yeah.
We don't care. The
Yeah.
other ones, well, I'm sure like yours, it needs to be in a driving vehicle. It needs to be, you know, certain limitations on
It's
where it could be and how it could be built.
Yep. Unleashed trunk is basically sub and enclosure in the trunk, and then you can have whatever else you want in the vehicle. Doesn't matter. And then you have unlimited no wall, which is a no wall format, and anything else in the vehicle. Same thing with wall, so you can have any modifications in front of the B pillar. Now the mic still has to be in front of the factory. Now I kept saying B pillar to everybody, but it's actually in front of the OEM seat. So where that seat would be, whether it's in the kick or anything, but it just has to be in front of the seat unless there's a subwoofer in the center console, like sub up front. If they have a sub up front, it has to be a foot up and over from the windshield, from the like B pillar or A pillar. A
Hmm.
pillar. But other than that, like I said, it's always been anywhere in front. I say B pillar for easy, but it's actually the seat. They couldn't put it in the seat because I said you can put it anywhere in front of the B pillar. And they put it in the seat. Technically, I think it has to be in front of the seat. But anywhere in front,
Okay.
doesn't matter if it's driver, passenger, no limitations on windows up and down and everything else. And, you know, so, and some people
That,
just do it just to do it. So everyone's like, just put it on the windshield. I'm like, that may not be your highest score. And I said, I always say, you want to try it in the kick after. And some people are like, no, I'm good.
yeah. And you see, ours is similar to that. The difference is that it can be anywhere in the vehicle except for in the enclosure. You can't put it in the port or in the, like if you run a band pass, you can't stick in your front enclosure or anything of that. It has to be outside of the enclosure. Uh, and I kind of like that because that's gotten people to really use their minds. And um, I think it was Dempsey actually that mounted his like in the back corner of his van or something, and it was making like damn good numbers. You got guys who use our stand and put it right in front of their port. It's not in the port, so it's right in front of the port. So I think it kind of it helps people get creative and figure where the hot spots are on their vehicle
Yep.
and do it off that. Now, I've had people roll up there, put on the windshield because the windshield, that vehicle has been tuned and just so much perfection put into it that on their windshield and legal is what they've been building for.
Yep.
There you go. So um, I don't really get. I didn't catch the all of it because I haven't really had time to go back on it. But I don't really get where people are going with what's considered extreme, what isn't. Uh, I believe that having the full wood roof and the full wood floors
Yes.
and the wooden dashboards and everything like that. I think that's kind of pushing people that are competing in those classes. Uh,
Yeah. I've seen people do like the extreme classes and other orgs and stuff where they do like full steel cage, blah blah blah, and then they built like this center console hump to chamber in all the pressure down on that passenger kick, and they're fiberglassing the whole floor, and they do that. Uh, so there's a million and one things that you can consider it extreme. My last org had a lot more limitations to put what is extreme, what isn't. But you know, a lot of these builds are extreme to me. You know,
and that's where the people, and I've got mad respect for the people that have been audio since audio is audio, and they're the ones that are kind of stirring up that, hey mom, they're kind of stirring up that, well, back in our days, to say it like that, that was considered a modification. That was considered something that would bump you up into a higher category and take you out of the stock class.
mm-hmm.
But then you can go back on that and saying that, an 88 Oldsmobile had a lot less noise dampening from the factory than a new Cadillac.
Yeah.
So why does a new Cadillac get the upper hand of already having it in there from the factory when I prefer my old 80s Oldsmobile? Why can't I go up to there? And that's, I believe that's what's been the push on both sides of it.
Well, I think for our org, it still is like behind factory panels and stuff. So as long as it appears to be factory, you're in the safe. You're in the clear. Now this is just me. I don't know the rule book. I didn't set the rules. I don't know a lot of the things, so don't quote me, Billy. If he's watching this, it's not my fault. But it's more of an enjoyment. It's more fun. It's like, hey man, we're not gonna sit here and bully you because you've got like those aren't the factory screws in your A-pillar, or your door has got a little trim ring on it, or your radio isn't mounted in the factory location. You have it mounted in the glove box, or blah, blah, blah. Those
stuff that makes absolutely no, you gain absolutely nothing from it, right?
And even if you do, it's very minuscule, if so. But I've never heard of anyone gaining anything from, changing location of a radio or something like that. Changing the radio is a different story, but that's not what it is. That's not going to make you extreme. Everyone has that option. Everyone has that same benefits. It really comes down to whether or not you want to play with the gray area or not. And the people that win play with the gray area.
Yeah. And that was what originally started all this way back with ACCL was Chris Chapman and Bubba Brewer would go in there and just stretch out just every little meticulous little thing they could find to stretch out with this rule or stretch out with that rule. All still okay in the rule book, but second place was getting pissed. So, let's see here. Oh, what's up, Joey? How you doing, man?
I think Aaron, if I can use Aaron as an example, that's probably what I'll do for Base Wars, because I think this is correct for me. Is Aaron's got his Chevy Silverado, the 90s one. I think it's a 90s Silverado, but he modified something that nobody would ever know, because I sat in his truck before he told me and I had no clue. He has a solid metal dash, but it appears to be factory. It is a factory dash. He went there and bought it factory. So for my org, because it's a factory thing, it's still a factory. That would not kick him in a extreme class because he went from a plastic dash to a metal dash. It fully looked it. Like, I did not know he had a metal dash until he was like, because I was like, man, your thing's getting it. And he has a regular window, regular side, regular doors, but he has a metal dash and keeps everything intact. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. And that's the difference on some things where it's like some orgs would be like, no, you changed out your dash. You can't be in this class because it's metal and you get a benefit and blah, blah. Yeah, he might get a benefit, but for us, we're not the judgmental people that's going to kick somebody out and put him in extreme because he only has a metal dash. If he had 2 12s in the back seat of his truck and a metal dash, you really think he deserves to be in, extreme? Now, his is loud. He has a walled truck, but I wouldn't put him in extreme because of his wall. Like, no way.
He did the metal dash for the same reason a lot of us that owned that generation, because I owned the generation after that one, like the end of the generation, if you will, before they made any major changes. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his generation, my generation, when they left the manufacturing facility, the dashboards automatically just went and broke and cracked and disintegrated.
Yes.
So you're going to replace it. There's no way around it. Well, look at this cool place that makes a full metal dash. I like that. And anybody that hasn't seen it, to back what Russell's saying here, the dash is it is so factory that it's not like the way they take the stock cars and give it the factory-looking dash, but it's got the big round gauges in it and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
This thing looks factory, smells factory. Unless you like touch it or take a good look at it,
Yeah.
You can't even tell it's full metal because it's black.
Yep.
And which, as he said, really boils the hell out during the summertime. But in that, but yeah, I mean, to look at it and glance at it, if I'm doing it like an inspection of the vehicle, look at the dash, look at the floorboard, look at the roof. All right, we're good to go. Nothing of it.
Yep.
Cabin, all right. So like plexi windows, sealed door, can't use. Cabin is essentially part of the enclosure, steel enclosure. Yeah. See, those are all stuff that I would agree with that. And that's the other thing right there. So you got Benjamin Kirkpatrick, and I'm calling him out because I know his vehicle. I saw it Thursday, and he's a good friend of mine. But there are other people out there that have vehicles similar to it. He has a full wall on the passenger side of the vehicle. He still has his door on the outside, but on the inside of the vehicle, there is a full wall with a diagram and stuff. That saves that passenger side door. Makes it totally not street legal and totally not drivable. But, for something like that, in my book, in my eyes, that's going to put him in extreme. I don't really care what he has in the back. For doing a major modification like that, and like Aaron was talking about, plexi windows, the seal totally can't use doors. Everything is welded to everything is everything.
I would be questioning whether or not, if the door swings open and has a seat in it still, would it be okay in my org? I've never asked Billy.
Okay, so here's the way that Benjamin's is. When you open the passenger side door, you're seeing the back of that wall.
Yeah, no, that's the extreme build right there. I'm
Yeah.
if you just bolt the door shut from the outside. What's the difference of bolting the door shut from the outside or putting a ratchet strap around the outside? Because at the end of the day, I think as long as the seat's there, it's not a full extreme build where an extreme build, like he says, has a barrier separating that door. Like you cannot get in and out of that door, or it's welded shut. I know one of Steve Duncan right there. His van is welded shut, has a plate there, But I'll throw another name out here because I know vehicles. Mike Melizio's, he's not he's got an extreme. He might be though, because I don't know. He's got a full wooden dash and wooden floor. Threshold is, but his both doors still fully function. He has full passenger and driver door, but he then also has no seats and I think it's a full wooden dash or fiberglass metal dash, and I don't think it's metal, it's wood or something.
Well, so hold on for that real quick. Let me interrupt you because I'm rude like that. Brendan, my co-judge, pulled the seats out of his car and put a full wooden seat in there. It's still okay in our book.
So that's not. You're saying it's not extreme, or it is extreme?
No. All he did is take the seats out, put a wood seat. His dash is still the same. He didn't build up on his console. He didn't wooden his doors. He didn't build anything extravagant in that sense. His passenger side door can open if we wanted to, but he doesn't. He keeps the strap around it, which is perfectly legit and legal. Yep. But yeah, for his seat's really the only major modification that's in there. And when he did it, I want to say he said he gained some. I'm not 100% sure how much or what have you. But yeah, so he put a full wooden bench seat in there.
So I think for our demo classes, he'll be fine. But for our SBL classes, I think you would have to be in a pro class just because you modified the interior in front of the B pillar. Now, in the demo classes, I don't think they have that limitation of that because they're more like, okay, this is 30-second average and stuff like that.
So Chris Phillips, about his, he said,
who's Chris?
He said, talk about Chris Phillips. A little Subaru, a Suzuki Sidekick. The old square out ones, not the ragtop ones.
I don't know if I've seen them. Maybe.
Not Samurai. Suzuki Samurai, not Sidekick. I owned a Sidekick. Yeah. He has a little samurai. He's local around here. Well, he lives a little bit south, but he's local enough to come to our Thursday meet, and he's been coming up and trying it out. And he's got just two gorgeous full carbon fiber, solid as a tank FIs in there. If I remember, I'm only 99% sure. And then he's got some. Oh shoot, my brain just turned off. I know the amps. Metzger used to, not Metzger. Mike Jones used to run them. Begins with an I.
Incriminator?
Incriminator, yeah. He's got 4 massive incriminators back there powering those 2 subs. And he's only running on 2 of them right now, but eventually that's going to be. For his interior, he's got all matted. He's all dampened. And then for his driver's seat, he has an old metal lawn chair. That's it.
I don't know. We are like one of the most lenient orgs, so it would be one of those things where I'd be like, let me make a phone call. Like for me, I wouldn't know, but from what I read in my rule book today, it is basically as close to factory as possible. Now, changing out seats and stuff, I can get it. If you go from like, I got a Chevy S10 and I want to put a Cavalier seat in there, there's still a factory seat. But if you want to change it out to like, you know, one of the boat plastic seats, I mean, I don't know. And if you want to eliminate it completely, it's one of those, dude, you know that there's no seat in there. Like you can't be in a class with everybody else with seats.
So our ruling with ACCL on that is there's nothing actually in our rule book about that, but all of our judges use our own sense on it. If I can drive that vehicle to the show, it's okay. And I don't modify the seat ruling for it or anything of that nature, because you can't say factory seats, because if I've got a dropped out, you know, Supra or something like that, and I've got the Momo racing seat, well, those aren't the factory seats.
Well, that's where I say, as long as it is a seat. That's why I'm like, the little plastic seats, that still may be considered a seat, where if you have a piece of 2x4 or wood there is no seat. Like, you can get pulled over by the police with a plastic seat and it'd be like, hey man, I got a seatbelt on and I got a plastic seat. But if you're sitting on a piece of plywood with a seatbelt on, or probably don't have a seatbelt if you have a bench seat, you know, they say, well, you know, you can't drive that.
Well, I know Brendan in his wonderful vehicle has been pulled over before, and his car is just.
I do know his car.
Okay, but it's just like yeah, okay, that's Brendan. But the thing of it is, when he got pulled over, I believe the story was told, the cop just kind of looked at him, looked at the car, and be like, you got to tell that out, buddy. He's like, yeah, I know. And he goes, it goes off and on. And they're like,
let me just make sure your car is registered and you have a driver's license. Obviously, you don't need insurance. Just keep it moving.
But it's like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, that officer rolled up there. He pulled him over, I'm sure, out of curiosity. Because, you know, there's plenty of people around here that don't even have plastic turn signals, you know. So there's plenty of options for them. So I'm thinking the cop pulled him over slowly out of curiosity. And then when he got to the side of the vehicle and saw that it's all nothing but enclosure, and then Brendan's sitting there in his little box going, hey, what's happening? I think an officer just thought of all that paperwork that's going to come from if I make eye contact with this guy.
First question, so, what the hell do you have in there? Well, sir, let me go into description. All right, that's enough.
Want a demo?
Yeah, you want a demo? No, no, I don't. Do you want another ticket, sir?
What's up, Tom? How you doing, man? Mike Jones, I still rank Criminator, but looking to switch soon. U.S. amps perchance?
Hey, man, I give it up to Incriminator. Their amps are phenomenal amps. That people, they've held their weight.
They have, and I've yet to see one at a show that wasn't putting in some damn good numbers too. They're yeah, and Mike and I talk about this on the regular, and not that he's any different, but I pretty much say that the guy that owns a Lamborghini can still compliment the Ferrari.
Oh yeah.
Yours is not the best, or it may be, or there may be somebody out there that's just as good. But you give credit where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
I've owned, freaking half a dozen Hondas.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think everybody should own a Honda? No, hell no. They're little teeny rice boxes. You know why I own them? Because they're cheap.
Yep.
They get stupid good fuel mileage, and if you have one and it's something's gone wrong with it, it's got less than 200,000 miles on it, you have done something wrong. These cars are freaking virtually unkillable. So, but I don't believe that everybody should have one, or I don't look down to you because you own a Toyota, So that's what I'm rambling on about this, but yeah, the Mike Jones and the rest of the Team XD that have ran Incriminator, they have always been just top in the lanes, no question of it.
Yep.
Let's see here. Aaron says, "What are seatbelts?" Got kind of with you on that one right now. I still haven't swapped over the because the seats that I put in the Suburban actually Aaron gave me, and they came with the click side of the seatbelt. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I can just leave no. It's like this much narrower than the side that goes into it.
Really?
So, yep.
Okay.
Like just enough where I tried pushing hard and couldn't get it to click in. So
you don't have them seatbelt adapters? Come on, bro. It's like wheel adapters. Just fit any seatbelt. Just kidding. I don't think they make that, or that is legal.
I'm going to search on Amazon. I didn't even think about that.
I got these seatbelt adapters. Yeah.
I mean, it would click in and click kind of like a ratchet adapter where you can convert it from a half inch down to a quarter inch or something.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, DOT.
If that's not out there, that's the moneymaker right there. That's
Hey, I quit my job today. I started making seatbelt adapters for base heads. I sold one this year, so I'm doing pretty good.
That's positive. That's 100% productivity right there.
Exactly.
Mike Jones says, I'm very interested in 3 million 10Ks, to be honest. They're there, and we're seeing videos and having people contact us, and I'm not, as I've said before, I will never push something that I myself have not used or I don't believe in. I won't tell you that the Pontiac was the best vehicle ever because I've never owned one. But U.S. Amps is definitely impressed me with my build and with the customer service by itself right there. When you contact it, you get me right here. When you call that number, you get me. That's it. You don't go through a recording or a phone tree or any of those such. Will I answer? Kind of questionable. But with the Merlins, they are some rather impressive amps. And we're seeing nothing but positive come back from the amps being out in production and or out in the field and people using them. And after this, there was a show last weekend called Slam. I don't know if anybody knows about it, but Slamology. And we had a couple of guys there, and I am intrigued to see what the outcome was. So, all right, not to derail that off or anything, or turn to a plug match or anything, but then you got people that will go against and say that above a certain amount of power should be considered extreme.
No.
Yeah, because I think the tough one with that, and I always default back to it, but is the Sony Explodes. Mm-hmm. The Sony Explode 1K versus a 500 watt Sundown, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. Even those two aren't going to be the same match. It's the Sundown would slaughter it. hell, the U.S. amps 1K, the 15 that's in the Honda right now, the Impact, which is our cheapest line. That's like our entry level line. That was metered to put out over 1,600 watts. So,
Pretty good.
you know, you got to play fair for fair. And I've also seen, I'm sure you have too, Russell, seen people come in that are putting, 5, 10K out, and their numbers really, I've seen people that are putting less than 2K out put out the same numbers.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And a lot of people come in there and want to, pull out their, wallets or whatever you want to call it and be like, oh, I got these, two 10Ks, blah, blah, blah. I should be doing this number. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, do you want to clamp it and see what it actually does? And then they clamp and they only clamp like, 3,000 watts out of one. And it's like, oh yeah, well, your two 10Ks probably put out like 5,000 watts. They're like, no. I'm like, well, the computer doesn't lie. So, and then all the excuses in the world come out of, oh man, well, it's the wrong ohm and blah, 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 and this and that. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you,
Have you had somebody ask you yet, when was the last time you calibrated your meter?
No. And if I told people the truth, they wouldn't come. They'd be like, no.
Well, that's the thing with the Merlins. Gosh, I just saw the thing. That's the thing with the Term Lab, though, that it doesn't need calibration. It's not a it's not it's what they're basing up against is the C-rated DV meters for like studios and such and sorts, in which those are something great to get calibrated. In my field, I worked manufacturing for my last however many God knows many years, and we would have a calibrating company come in once a year and recalibrate and check all of our equipment for consistency, because that's what you do for manufacturing. And we had a DV meter there for the whole warehouse so they could keep an eye on, to make sure it wasn't getting too bad and, worried about hearing and all that stuff, strange shit. And even that got calibrated, even that got checked. But that's a C rating. That's a different. This is SPL. SPL, sound pressure is going to be sound pressure on that little sensor.
Yep.
If I know right, they auto-calibrate. Or they keep themselves in it is more what I'm thinking.
That's why RTA mics can't handle the same pressure as an SPL mic. So people that do sound quality, they're limited to somewhat. Their limitations are somewhat, just because obviously SPL is so much more pressure compared to that. Running from 20 to 20,000 is a lot more information than 20 to 80. You're so many more octaves and everything like that. So for high-end SQ, maybe to get them calibrated, but not, anything about SPL. I mean, if your mic, how about this? Best case, if your mic is 0.2 off of my mic, does that really make a difference? Because I'm metering every single caller on my mic, and you're metering every car on your mic. So it's not like we're going against each other to see who has the louder people. You're competing with me. I'm consistent no matter what. I'm not changing my mic out halfway through the show. So at the end of the day, there is a consistency no matter what.
Yeah, there's a consistency in the lane that you are currently at of the time of day, because that also takes a major consideration, is the temperature, the pressure, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Things of that nature to go in. And that's the other thing that would get me, is that the guys would come up and be like, well, when I butted when I muted on my friend's mirror the other day, it said I was okay. I almost cracked a 60 in the Nissan. That was in December, when it had a cold streak like nothing we've ever been through. It was massively cold, so I'm like, oh, let's go and check it. I did like a 159.6 or 158.9, somewhere like high. I'm like, wow! I couldn't catch that number again if somebody held a gun to my head, because it wasn't that cold. There was so many factors in on it. So
I only metered my Highlander in the colds. Only metered it. Summertime? Nah, you won't catch me. I'll give demos, but I won't meter my car in the summer. You're out of your mind. I need my number to stay higher than what it actually is. My 50 was definitely in like January, December area. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and that was, it was,
But I was under 2,000 watts. I was breaking a 50 under 2,000 watts. So mine was
yeah.
a 50 rating over complete output.
Yeah, your vehicles have always been just like mad efficient,
Yeah.
where my vehicles have been, hey, look, I broke another windshield. Uh, uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, ooh, sorry, bug just flew in my damn mouth.
I smell that.
Man,
Yeah, no.
wow.
There's always been more limitations. I think about doing an audio per se vehicle, but not the right time or place right now. Maybe later down the road.
At least not till after October.
Yeah, not till October. Yes. Yes. October will be different.
October way. Melissa and I have eaten a lot of ramen noodles between now and then, so that's.
I would love to tell you different, but God only knows I'll be going to Disney and spending money like it's water still. So
Yeah, well, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Why else do we have all these credit cards if we don't just totally abuse them? I mean, come on, we're Americans, aren't
that
we?
is true. We don't do credit cards anymore. We are paying our debt off very slowly but surely. So
Dude, that's awesome. That
yeah,
really is awesome. I joke about it. We've got a handful of credit cards, but I've got zero on any of them.
that's
Uh,
good. That's good.
yeah, and I've gotten in the habit of at the end of the month, being like a grown-up person. At the end of the month, the money I spend during the month, use that to pay towards the credit card. Bada bing, it's done. It's taken care of. Keeps
Right.
your credit score up. Keeps it down to zero. So
Give free miles. They always say get your miles. I don't fly on planes enough to get miles.
yeah, we've got now. I will say this: the Disney card. Yes, Disney's entering the conversation once again. The Disney card actually gives us a lot of good stuff for buying Disney and for the money we spend on Disney. And most likely, when we take our cruise, it will go on that card. And then the moment we get back, we'll pay it off, but we'll get all the points for it. We'll get all the miles for it. And, that's.
I get it. We used to have one, but then we're getting rid of our debt, so we don't have a Disney credit card anymore.
No, and that's great. That is awesome. The only reason I got the damn card is because it had the mouse on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Mine was Toy Story, so don't feel bad.
there you go. So, let's see here. Yeah, Mike Jones, the guy's asking about calibration, was probably the same guy clamping 43,000 watts to do a 159 on the dash that made it steal. I can't.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I can neither admit nor deny that statement. Hey, but I mean, you've got the guys like myself the same. I've got 4 7,000 watt amps in there running. They're 2-channel amps. I've got 1 channel per coil in this freaking truck. So I'm pumping like 7,000 watts to each sub back there. Does it make me louder? No. No, it damn sure doesn't. I'm doing right now. Everything's still in the process. I'm going to fill in my door and all the stuff like that. But as is right now, I've got 5 layers of dampener on my door, and the passenger side door is still gapping out. I can't get it to stick. So the next run's going to be full of epoxy. But
Instead of not to bring you down or anything, but yes, I know what place you placed in my org when you competed too. So.
oh yeah, no, I love that because I ranked 3rd place in your.
You did.
Yeah,
You got
third. Yeah, there it is, sitting right there staring at me. I like that. I like that better than 1st place because 3rd place means I still got room to grow.
Yep.
Like Brendan, he's had 1st place since who the hell knows when. He's leaving. I don't even think next season he's going to run, just because when you always have 1st place, what's the fun of it, So okay, hey Joey, good. Okay, so for anybody who can't see us, like when I repost on YouTube or what have you, Joey Filter, what's up, brother? Good friend of mine. It would be pretty cool to have a class with a wind meter. They have tried that in other orgs, and I cannot remember a positive outcome coming from it.
There wasn't. I remember. It's. I don't know if it's inconsistent or not. It's weird on how they got that wind sensor to work. And maybe because I don't know if it has a dial, like a rotation dial in it or something, where our air isn't moving strictly in one way because it moves in and out because it's AC current, not DC, or the wind only blows in one direction. It's not blowing against each other. So I don't know. I've heard of people doing it, and I've heard of like people saying, oh man, that's how we determine who's the most windiest and stuff. But I don't know how accurate it is. I've never done it myself, but logically,
Okay.
it doesn't make sense.
I tried it for a split second. I didn't try it like in the lanes when Tim Johnson was around, and he and I were working together, and he was going to buy out ISPLL. That was the exact problem that we had, because the air was coming in and going out so fast that it could not create a turbine effect.
Mm-hmm.
The other downside to it was that some of the meters that were used were directional, which means they could only they had like a little fin on the top,
Mm-hmm.
and they could only go in the direction the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
So in turn, it was designed for the blades to go clockwise, but when they went counterclockwise, it didn't read it. It read 0.
Yep.
So it wasn't taking the in and out, even on a low frequency. Let's say you're pumping, 18 hertz. That's enough where you see people's faces go wah, wah, wah. So that's enough that should move a blade. And if you have a bidirectional wind meter, maybe you can get something out of it. But it just became too much and too. It just seemed like a lot of something for not much of anything. So, yeah. So there you go. Brian said the exact same thing. Didn't work because it pulls in and out. So, and they try to get like Heather. So, in which, if anybody talks with Heather or is in conjunction with them or knows anything to them, talk to her. See if you can get that show back. That show was awesome.
That was a good one. I always liked that show because a lot of people from Georgia, well, now we have bigger shows down here, but that's what the show everyone from Georgia is. So all the Georgia friends would come down and all that stuff. So for me, it was always a good show. It was a great location. I don't know if it has to do with the equestrian side kicked us out just like every other time. We get too loud and we get kicked out. So I mean,
surprise.
Just keep knocking TVs off the wall in Brooksville, and we'll get kicked out eventually.
Yeah, jeez. Well, the good thing is that talking with Ken, not for any reason, but he always has a backup in his back pocket. So
that's good. No,
if we do get kicked out of Hernando, then we have somewhere else, or he has I don't know if he has anything guaranteed set in stone, but he's got a handful of ideas in his head. So that's a good thing too. But I like the Hernando one because it's so close. That's my major thing. And my buddy gets to come and stay with me for the weekend, and we go out and have barbecue.
We do. I miss times, like I said. I have them on Facebook now. I know one of our conversations always go back to food. I don't know, but
Disney.
Yeah, food or Disney, but it's I saw their post today and I was like, dang man, I want some barbecue.
I see you scrolling through Facebook, then you're like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's Jason doing today? Hey Jason, can you mail me some barbecue?
I ordered the $15 sandwich, but UPS charged me $35 the next day to you.
You got to do what you got to do.
Got to do it. Welcome to my hell. I drive by it twice a day.
You do.
Once I come back, and that smoker's out there just filling up 50, and I hit it like a wall. It's just like, oh.
When's the next time Russell's coming?
I almost want to throw a show just to give you a reason to come.
I wouldn't mind. So when the competitor, like I said, I really got screwed these next 2 months with shows. You know.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about that for people with base wars that are watching that are
Oh yeah.
worried about their points?
Like I said, Billy said he will work with people that need points or stuff. I kind of informed people that we were going to have at least 3 shows that have now gone down to 1 show because I had lost 2 shows. So, but I did also mention to people that it was more than halfway through the season as well. And if you can't make it through the rest of the shows type deal. So I will specifically get with people that have an issue with that uh, thing. But for most people, I didn't get a lot of memberships this year anyway. So if you do want to become a member for next year, which I was thinking next year will be bigger for memberships. This year was the growth of it. I wasn't too worried about getting memberships this year. I wanted to see how well it would work and everything like that. And throughout the year, it's been phenomenal. So thank everybody. But next year, I'm going to do more with the membership side of it because not that I didn't give enough people chances this year, but it's like, hey, when you go to a show the week before there's finals and be like, hey, I want to be a member. I'm like, hey, it's probably not a good idea. You can still do it, but it's probably not a good idea. So, unfortunately, like I said, it sucks, but I lost Nopi. That would have been towards the end of this month down in West Palm Beach. Something happened with Nopi in the location, so it got postponed, I guess, and let's see if it actually ever happens, period. And then the one in July, I was hoping to make, but I knew that me and my wife had something going on in July. And coincidentally, it is the weekend that me and her have something going on. And unfortunately, Baseheads, my family's more important. So I am going to be with my family on that weekend, not there.
Yeah, no, and that right there is what I'm glad for one that Mike respects that as well with U.S. Amps for me coming in and helping and things. But that's always been for myself with shows. There's the guarantee we work around them shows. There's the Made of Steels. There used to be the Eastbound Get Down. There's finals. Those shows are you work your schedule around it. You don't miss those shows.
Yep.
But the other shows, I tell people, put your time in now. We're gonna get the requests in. When I get a request in for a show, Melissa and I sit down. Hey, what do we got going on? Don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. About everything we do it like that. Finals is the first weekend of October. The weekend after that, or 2 weekend after that, I
The
believe.
weekend after.
It is the weekend directly after.
Yep.
Is Slam Fest.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me in October.
Yep.
We're taking a Disney cruise. Yes, another one this year.
Yep.
It's going to be the Haunted Halloween cruise, which I'm a freaking geek for that stuff. And I don't want to run a show.
I'm with you. I don't think I'm going to run a show in October either after that.
No. Usually October, I take the rest of it off anyways, because November, we've got the Music Wars Dean show.
Yeah.
Yep. And then December, I don't normally run a show either because that's just a month of hectic hell between Melissa's birthday and Christmas, and we just don't need the thing. Now, I do go to the Toy Drop, which is John Kent's show. It's a no competition, but you can still bring audio kind of show. There's a lot of just nice cars out there and everything like that. It's all 100% donated to the kids. We'll talk more about that stuff when it comes closer to it because right now that's 6 months away. So
I would be curious now. I'm just thinking because you said Music Wars. So last year we did some special one in October towards the end for whatever. It was some truck show that was a complete failure. We won't do that again, even if we went to the right show. I don't think that was worth our time. That was one of the ones where we talk about, we kind of weed out the bad ones and the good ones, and didn't happen like we wanted to. But I would be curious to see if Dean would be okay with me doing Base Wars for one day and then doing the Music Wars the other day. Because you only do it one day, correct? You don't do 2 days.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'd be
And
curious. You would
I
do.
have in the past talked about doing the one day and then the second day just come back as a spectator
Mhm.
and hanging out, maybe helping her or whatever. But it never seems to work that way. There's always something that comes up for whatever reason, which is fine because it would just be more of a come to hang out kind of thing and uh not a going there to make money and I'm losing money if I don't go, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well,
So
like I said, I'm just trying to give people opportunities for Base Wars shows. And because of that, and like I said, with the time in no December, but then in January, we have the new show that's taking over for Eastbound Get Down, which I'll actually be able to get to go to because I was there.
yay!
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think about it, and I do want to give everyone a good opportunity to get their events in because we don't have a point system. We just have to do 5 events and Base Wars. If I went through them, I save all my things. So I would like to know by the end of the year how many events I have, and I'm going to say it's probably a minimum of 10 shows we've had this year. After everything, it's probably about 10 shows, almost one a month, guaranteed. I mean, so
Yeah, that's the same way we shoot for, is almost one a month. This year, shame on me. I was too generous with the points, and I had more 3X shows than I really usually do. And the only reason I'm saying shame on me is because if you go to two 3X shows, you can buy points at each show. So you got 6 points and 6 points. So 2 shows, you've got enough for the season, and that's it. It's last we'll see you.
yep.
So
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I just judge competitors differently. I'm like, I don't really care so much about the point system as much as events. I feel like base heads go either way. Like they care less about points and everything, unless they're points chasing. Like I want to be like the points champion. I don't know if you do that or not, but most people go there and they just want to run their car. They like it. This is their time. This is like I don't know how to compare it to. It's like men's softball league. They go out there to just do it. Like they don't care so much about winning as much as just being out there, hanging out with their friends and stuff. So
that's it right there. I go to hang out with my friends, even to run the organization, even to run ACCL. I go to hang out with my friends. I go to laugh. I go to, heckle back and forth across the way with you on our PA systems and ha ha ha. And it's almost like going to the bar to hang out with your friends.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It, and and realistically, for me and you, it's not having to pay at the bar.
Yeah.
People are going to go to the bar either way. It's just we make the money off of it. So we're like the cool bartenders.
That's a good way of saying it. I like that.
Because, I mean, realistically, it's the same thing. They come, they bullshit, they hang out, they run their car, a.k.a. they drink their drinks, and then we send them on their way.
Yeah. Yep. So, and I've seen the full cycle too, from people that have started out as spectators and then turned into competitors, and then now they do his demo. But either way, they still come to the show. Either way, they're still keeping it alive. So that's why I always tell people, I'm like when I first started helping you, with your org, get that out there to push and promote it. I don't care if you come running my lanes. I like the lanes. I like the money, but the reality of it is, if you don't come running the lanes, my electric bill still gets paid.
Yep.
I'm not relying on the funds for anything. I do this to have money to cycle back into it so I can do this.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
That's what I do. Exactly the same. It's
And
if you guys don't come and compete, there is no competition for base force anymore. I would just go back to going to car shows and hanging out with Jason. I would still be there. It's just if the competitors aren't there, we wouldn't be able to fund it. We can't. Not that we can't do it for free, but I mean, it's still taking time out of our day. It's still losing weekends with my family and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, it's got to be put a little bit of a value. It's just a fun value, you know. It's a rock superstar. It's a fun job, but it's still a job.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's it. And there have been shows where I've woken up the day of the show and I'm like, oh God, I'm hoping it'll rain. I'm hoping it'll, because I just wasn't feeling getting out and doing it, because at a point it is work. It is still something. The fact that I've got my trailer now makes things a lot easier, but it still is, especially like doing the shows on the East Coast. When I used to do the 1-day shows on the East Coast, I'd have to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to drive all the way to Blaze 3-4 hours away to have a show where I'm rolling the dice when I could get 2 people in the landing room, I could get 30, and then take that same trek home. So, but either way, it's still fun, still pays the bills enough to keep me in debt. And
Yep.
all right, well, I just noticed it's 20 minutes after 10, and I'm ready to go inside and go to bed because my energy's been gone for a while now.
No, you're good. I hope everyone's extreme question has been answered. I hope we didn't do too much rambling and we kind of got to the fact of what is and what is not extreme.
Yeah, pretty much if it's street, and for my organization, if when you get pulled over, the cop isn't going to write you a ticket, that's about what our limitations are in the sense of extreme and not extreme.
Yeah. Basically, if you do any crazy modifications in front of the B-pillar, that's what's going to put you in extreme for us. Other than that, if it appears to look stock, we're not going to hassle you on certain things. We really don't. We want you to go out there and have fun.
And that right there is what it comes down to at the end, is to have fun. Because both of our organizations we have a spot for everybody. Mm-hmm. You just may not be able to play in the spots with everyone else. And let's be real, if you have a true extreme vehicle, you're not really thinking about why you can't play in the low classes anyways. You built for that extreme vehicle.
Correct.
So,
you don't want to. Who wants to go with an extreme vehicle and then go compete in a little class? Be like, oh, I crushed the guy. Great, Tom Brady. You could throw a football better than an 8th grader. Keep up the good work.
Good for you.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. Your 818s or whatever blew out 112 in the trunk of a car. Cool. Big surprise.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to end this show here. For anybody that doesn't know, like usual, I'm Jason, a.k.a. Guy with the Meter, the man, the myth, the slam dancer, and the grand poobah, second monkey in charge for this funny little thing called ACCL. You may have heard of us. If you haven't, check us out on Facebook, ACCL, American Cardio Competition League. I'm Jason, hashtag Guy with the Meter, if you ever want to follow my dumb ass. We're at shows all around Florida. If you can't find us, you're not looking right. Carry on.
I'm Russell from Florida, the event director for Florida, and easy enough. You can find me from Base Wars Florida on Instagram, Facebook, and then anywhere else. My personal page is Russell Jones. I do audio for a living, so if anyone has any questions, hit me up. I'm not the fastest to respond, but I will respond. So.
Yeah, and the same with me. If you have any questions or anything about the organization, or just run around looking for questions, or if you're ever interested in some U.S. AMPS equipment, hit me up just the same. If I don't answer, I am usually sleeping. So that's my phone isn't. I've got my watch here to let me know when somebody's messaging me on the phone. So even on that, and the 800 number for U.S. AMPS goes to my phone, and the email from U.S. AMPS goes to my phone. So I can usually get to it rather quick. If I don't answer immediately, that means I'm just want to get somewhere where I can get a good answer for your question. So on that note, I will see everybody again next weekend. Stay safe and have a good week.
All right. See you guys.
Good, bud.